For section F, you have four logarithmic equations at a high level of math. So let's start with equation number 1. Now, the first thing that you have to do is to determine the domain of validity, nicely introduced by the following expression. Given that, now here you're going to get each one of the arguments of each logarithm, 1 minus x, and there has to be strictly greater than 0. And they are connected with the logical operator AND. So for this one, negative x would be greater than negative 1, and therefore x would be less than positive 1. For this one, let me do first rearranging everything in the regular order, and I'm going to, that's my personal preference, have my leading term as a positive. So I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1, which will imply that I will flip the inequality. So here I've got a quadratic inequality. I need, you have two ways. You could solve the corresponding equation and then report that on a number line, and then test each section of the number line thus defined. But a more algebraic and rigorous way is to complete the square. Bring down the x, divide by 2, and then subtract the square. What I could do also is to cross over that subtraction. So let me clean things up a little bit. 16 is 64 over 4, and I'm going to cross over that subtraction. It's going to become an addition. And finally, I would have x minus 1/2 square less than 65 over 4. Now, the next step is that I'm going to cross over the square. Is going to become a square root, so I'll have square root of 65 over square root of 4, which is 2. And here you may be tempted to add plus or minus, but that does not make any sense. So what you need to do instead is take this extra step to add an absolute value on this side. And then you know how to solve absolute value inequalities. So you will have, let me do that all at once, less than, so this subtraction is going to become an addition, 1 plus square root of 65 over 2, but greater than 1 minus square root of 65 over 2. So you do have a plus or minus, but you need to lay this out in a compound inequality. All right. Now you can estimate the value. Square root of 65 is roughly 8, plus 1 is 9. So this is roughly 4.5. And this is negative 8 plus 1, which is negative 7. So that's roughly negative 3.5. So you can eventually report all of those values So the negative 3.5, the 4.5, and in between this 1 here. So x needs to be less than 1 and in between those two values, which means that this will constitute my domain of validity. So if, with the help of that number line, there is no need, strictly speaking, to report it, but the domain of validity would be such as x belongs to 1 minus square root of 65 over 2, 1, both excluded. Now that this is done, I will have 1 minus x equals x plus 16 minus x squared. Let me write that down here to have a cleaner equation solving. And I'm going to cross over everything to the left side. So I will have positive x squared. Negative x minus x is negative 2x. And 1 minus 16 is negative 15. And this is quite easy to factor. It's going to be x minus 5 times x plus 3. And I would have x equals 5 or x equals negative 3. But only the following value, negative 3, is in the domain of validity. So I need to add a last line. Therefore, x equals negative 3. This one here is extraneous. And here you have it.